Hey there, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. fans. Welcome to another episode of the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. After Show on AfterBuzz TV. Tonight we are talking about Season 4, Episode 8, the mid-season finale, The Laws of Inferno Dynamics. There's a lot to talk about. Let's stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
How long until we come back for the next part of the season?
I feel like you were depressed because your intro wasn't as energetic as usual. Like, you had a lot to say, and you said it perfectly well, but I feel like usually you're like, yay, and then this time
you don't even have to wait a week. Get excited, you guys.
That's true. We do.
Get pumped.
In 1 week, we have something very spectacular coming to us. So that's good, at the very least.
What's coming in a week?
The web series. All right, guys, welcome to the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. After Show. Megan's depressed, so I'll introduce
No,
the show.
it's fine. It's fine, guys. We're talking tonight about the mid-season finale, The Laws of Inferno Dynamics. Let me introduce my fantastic panel. To my left, Jesse Klein.
Hi everyone, I hope you're excited to talk about this episode. I know I am. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at JessKlein1. That is JessKlein, the number 1.
To his left, Tehran.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name's Tehran, at I am Tehran. If for some reason you forget how to spell my name, as someone kindly pointed out in the comments, it's on my hat. So tell your friends to tell their friends. And if you don't know how to spell Tehran, just watch CNN.
Or if you're listening on iTunes, flip it over to YouTube for a moment. And to his left,
Hey
Zach
guys,
Wilson.
Zach Wilson, aka the voice of Doom. So excited to talk about this. This episode was chock full of everything.
Yep.
Everything.
So what's this YouTube series?
All right,
Why
well,
am I always
One
last to
more.
win?
I am Megan
Oh.
Salinas. You guys can tweet at me at the Menguin. That's TheMenguin. We are also going to be following the live chat as well as the hashtag ABTVMarvel. So please, guys, join in on the conversation. So yes, this.
So we'll talk about it more at the end once we get through the episode. But if you jumped away before the end of the credits, they announced that next week, dropping on December 13th, there's going to be a Yo-Yo solo
Oh my God.
web series that I think it sounds like they're going to release all the episodes next Tuesday.
Called Ricochet?
It's called
Slingshot.
Slingshot, sorry.
Ricochet was a different Marvel hero
Yeah,
from
sure.
the 90s who was just. He had a cool name and a cool design, but just he was a
No
terrible
power.
person.
Sure.
But let's get into that at the end of the episode. We gotta get through the episode.
All right, guys. This is the mid-season finale. We're not getting S.H.I.E.L.D., and this is why I'm depressed. We're not getting S.H.I.E.L.D. for a little while. You gotta wait until after the
I
holidays.
don't know why you're depressed. We usually have to wait till March.
That's true.
I know, but we
I
just
thought they were
came
going to be
back.
like coming in March 2017. Instead, they were like January 10th. And I'm like, great. That sounds awesome.
But we just had a big
got
break.
back. We took an entire month off, and we just got back, and now we have to take another month-long break. So
Good
that's why
things
I'm
comes
sad.
to those who wait.
That is
Megan.
very true. Much
that?
like this finale.
My
Who said
grandmother.
good?
And she said it. And she wrote that.
Okay, good.
She wrote it.
Very
Yeah.
smart.
You don't know.
You're right. I
You
know.
don't know my grandmother.
I don't. She could have created every colloquialism. That is a fact. I can't prove
We're
it.
off on a tangent here, guys. Can we talk about
yes,
shit?
guys, mid-season finale. How do we feel? Because this, I feel like, was a really great way to wrap up this kind of mid-season Ghost Rider storyline. Like, it was a really good way to set this up, and it was a really good way to wrap it up and to set up the LMD stuff we have coming later on.
Yeah, I just really like how dorky Mace is. Like, he's such a dork.
Who designed that outfit for
That
him?
was
Who
it.
did he commission that outfit
He
from?
designed that outfit. He was like, make me look as much like a hero as I can. I want the biggest, broadest chests, and I want straps
I want to
everywhere.
be just like Captain America, but with the shield
Basically,
logo.
Mace was watching a bunch of Legends of Tomorrow episodes and was like, I want that thing. I want to look like the Atom. Like, do that, but all black.
But we see that he does care about the way he looks, because even when it was like his picture, they're like, oh, that's your bad side. Next time I'll make sure it's your good side. I like the part, okay, so at the end when we see May in the closet, right? That was like why? I don't know. It's crazy, right? But I thought they were going to cut away when she looked in and we wouldn't know what was in the closet. Like,
Yeah.
I really thought, and I was about to be like, no!
We when it cut to
We got some
commercial,
answers.
we were yelling, "What's in the box?" for sure.
Exactly.
No, I like
in
that
the
we got answers. But yeah, like the stuff with Mace, like while we're talking about his costume, because like
It's perfect.
It is like it's off-putting, but I think you're right, Jesse. That's sort of the point, because like the fact that he has sculpted like not just pecs, but like sculpted a six-pack into his like body armor.
What would you do if you had body armor? Let's stop there right quick, Zach. If you guys don't watch, if you're listening on the iTunes only, let's just say Zach doesn't have a six-pack. Would you?
Yeah, let's say that.
Would you sculpt yourself a six-pack?
No, because it's it's pointless. I would probably go for like some kind of design. It would probably be some kind of like more of like a useful design, like camo or
you would have tights.
No, because no, it doesn't have to be tights, but like it has to.
Superheroes either have body armor or tights. That's what we say. He didn't have a cape. I give him points for that. Okay,
No,
I'm gonna have a cape.
the thing is, I think the thing we're trying to say is like, it works perfect for Mace's character that he would choose like the cheesiest look, because a lot of body armor,
think it
like
looked cool, Mace.
actual body armor, does not have pecs, and like functional body armor doesn't have pecs.
In fact, most body armor is not solid like that.
Yeah,
it's like
no.
cloth,
It's dragon
like
armor.
Teflon.
It's usually something
Kevlar.
that where Kevlar for sure.
So,
It's
like-
usually something where, and there's actually a really good game theory episode about this where they actually talk to engineers who design bulletproof vests, because you want to have something that is both that will protect you but also allows you the flexibility to be able to move and
How do you
everything
know
like
he
that.
doesn't? We don't know what his body looks like under the suits. And on top of that, here's another thing: if you guys were all Inhumans right now, you'd be haters. Like that would be your power, is hating on this guy.
Oh, just yelling at Mace.
this
You're
isn't
such a
hating.
sellout for wearing the superhero getup.
This isn't hating. Like what Mace is doing here is he's created this costume not necessarily for functionality. He knows he's not going to be getting into the thick of battle, at least on a consistent basis. What this armor
This was a publicity stunt, yeah.
he set it up so that he could
Exactly,
go out into
yeah.
the public and
Look like a hero.
Look like a hero.
Yeah.
Maybe not be one, but look like one. And
Yeah.
that's the key distinction. Like he put. This was like so crafted by the Patriot. Like it's got the S.H.I.E.L.D. logo right where Captain America's star would be. It's got Captain America stars on the cuffs.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if you guys caught that
Yes,
detail,
it
but
did.
like they very clearly are. This was
Yes,
very
it did.
clearly thought out to like he is trying to be like the new Captain America for the modern age.
Which makes sense for his character. He's a politician. He's trying to make
Yes.
it. He's trying to get those visuals across.
Yeah, he knows his brand.
And I think the point we're making is in a show that, for the most part, tries to make it as realistic looking as possible. It stuck out, which in a good way. It's a good thing that it stuck out, but it was very like, oh, this is like, if they had done this show in 1999, everyone would have like pack body armor that was like bright red or blue or whatever.
As you pointed out, he looked like a Power Ranger.
Yeah, he looks like a Power Ranger or like an early Batman suit.
As far as the chat is concerned about the six-pack,
Yeah.
I'm just going to go through quick. Yes, yes, yes. No, of course. Nah. Why is that a question? Maybe. Yes. It doesn't matter. Yes. No. Most likely.
Okay.
Okay, good.
LOL.
Okay, we'll put up a poll, I suppose, on the ABTV Marvel asking about Mace's outfit as to whether or not you guys are yay or nay about it. But you know what we need to talk about? Like the crux of this episode is the confrontation between Robbie Reyes and his uncle Eli, because as we found out recently, Eli's real evil, and I have to say that when we do get this confrontation, I was kind of just expecting Eli to go full supervillain and just to still be mustache twirly because he's irredeemable in the comics. Yeah, and you're absolutely right. There was so much emotion between the two of them
He
during
was
this
being
confrontation.
nice to him. He was like, "Go home."
After
like,
he stabbed him.
No. This was before he
Priorities.
stabbed him. He was like, "You shouldn't be here. Go home." And then Robbie was like, "No, I'm gonna come after you." He was like, "Oh well, not after I stab you with carbon," and that's what happened. But I felt like he wasn't as evil as I thought he was, and especially not as evil as he is in the comic book. In the comic book, he's
a monster,
irredeemable.
yeah.
Irredeemable character. I mean, he's the worst. He's one of the worst villains. But in this, it just seems like he's a guy who. And you know what's funny? You know what led him to this? Just to let you know. white privilege, people. White privilege led Uncle Eli
and the
to
corruption
being
of dark magic.
Yeah.
But he was like, they didn't respect me at work.
Yeah.
They didn't like. They used to just think they did me a favor.
Well,
I knew how he felt when he started talking.
Yeah,
I was like,
absolutely.
He was like, I'm a physicist.
No,
I should have been respected.
Anybody
like one.
who's
Yeah.
ever suffered from any form of discrimination can understand how he feels, and something he probably chose his whole life to just move past or ignore or tell himself, hey, it's okay, you're better than they think you are, prove them wrong. When he got a hold of the Darkhold, all of the positive ways he was probably able to spin that just went right out the window, and all of the negative emotions from a lifetime of being looked down upon just bubble to the surface.
you said when he got a hold of the Darkhold, but did the Darkhold get a hold of him?
Jeez.
Oh.
End of podcast. I wrote a joke. Diamonds are Eli's best friends. I just wanted to make sure I got that out there.
I really like how clever this was too. Because something we were talking about quite a bit last week was how even though it's magic and even Doctor Strange, was quote unquote magic, ultimately magic is still subject to the rules of science.
Yeah.
And here, I thought this was so clever with the, laws of conservation of mass needing to be upheld. And ultimately, Eli stealing from other dimensions is what was causing these seismic rifts.
I'd like to point out that that's what we pitched last week.
Yes.
That's exactly what we hypothesized. Hire us. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Hire us.
Well, we did bring it up because nothing. Something can't come from nothing.
Matter can
And
neither
we
be
were like,
created nor destroyed.
Yeah, and it was
Yeah.
carbon. It was interesting that it was carbon, and then in this
the
episode
most
we see him doing even more. And I thought it was great when he made water come just like
Because it was a compound,
and
not just
exactly
an
it was
element.
compound, hydrogen and oxygen combined to make water. I thought that was actually very interesting.
It was a good way to illustrate like how far his powers are, and like it
Yes.
seems. It seems like something so simple. Like,
Yes.
I have made water appear in this glass. All right, Aquaman, calm
That's
down.
fine. Doctor Strange made beer appear. Call me when you get Call me when you get to that level.
Although it raises questions now. Where did that beer come from? What quakes on the other side of the planet
Cut
is
to
Doctor
Thor.
Strange causing?
Cut to Thor about to drink a beer and it just disappears.
Where is my beer?
Oh, this
But that's
drink
the thing.
thing.
Ragnarok. That's what
We
starts
learned that,
Ragnarok.
like these laws, and it's interesting like that magic is ultimately just advanced technology,
yeah.
which Thor it comes up throughout the Marvel
Yeah,
universe.
exactly.
And we hear the book being referred to as a very like advanced piece of technology too in
Yeah.
this book. So it kind of confirmed what we mentioned as a panel last week because we are brilliant. I just wanted to, that was the ultimate end of everything.
And
I
yes,
wanted to
and
say. We are brilliant.
that's a through line throughout this entire season and
that we
the
are
series as a
brilliant?
whole. Yes,
Yes,
that
we are
one
brilliant.
for sure.
Thank you.
But yeah, as far as the confrontation with Robbie goes, part of me wants to be disappointed that it wasn't an action-packed spectacular like we've gotten with Ghost Rider in the past. However, personally, I feel that the emotions behind the exchange that we got kind of made up for that. I wanted to get your guys' take on that.
Yes and no. There was a lot of great emotion. I think it was sort of it was like a tease. Like, this was Ghost Rider's last stand is how they sold this episode to us.
Exactly.
And if this
Robbie walked
they
into a room,
basically-
hung out.
They put a chain in front of Ghost
Yeah,
Rider.
they literally
and it didn't
gave
light
him
on fire.
Yeah, exactly. And like they gave us a chain.
Yeah.
They
Chain Ex Machina.
Like, yeah.
Which it didn't save the day.
Yeah.
At the very least, they established why it was there. Coulson brought it
Yeah.
because he knew.
He knew.
This is like actually that's like a little bit of like what Coulson has become in like the comics right
Yeah.
now, where he's like the genius of like the encyclopedia of all the different heroes
Of
and what they
everybody.
would need and how they would be best used in a
Yes.
scenario. So the fact that he's like, well, yeah, of course, Ghost Rider needs a chain, so I bring a chain.
Yeah.
But ultimately, like, I think they just oversold us on what it could have been, and for this to be Ghost Rider's finale, I think we needed to see him fight a little bit before he got stopped like that. It left like me wanting more.
Well,
And they teased more. more, like multiple times in this episode.
Sure, but there was the emotional aspect, which was really significant, and me as a viewer, I didn't care about the emotion at all. I wanted them to fight. I wanted him to wrap the chain around Eli and just like throw and nut. And when it didn't happen, it was so anticlimactic to me. Like, and I only thought like I felt when you said that, I felt like a piece of ish because you're like, oh, there was an emotional struggle. I'm like, oh yeah, that's true. It's a
You're
cycle,
like,
blah blah
yeah,
blah.
sure.
I wanted
I
him
guess
to set
that's
him
cool.
on fire and just like destroy stuff. Why did he not? Why was he unable to become Ghost Rider the 2 previous times he like kind of tried?
Because of the quantum energy and because of multiple stabbings.
And because Eli is taking matter from that other universe, and the other universe is trying to take that matter back. So that's why he was feeling like he was before when he was stuck in the other universe.
Yeah, the rider is being pulled back towards hell or whatever dimension he's from.
I was asking for a friend, so just to let you know, guys. For a friend.
But like, I see people that were in the chat asking similar question earlier. Like,
Because
actually, everyone in the chat's answering my question too. So maybe I didn't get that. But
I appreciate that they did a different type of storytelling. Like I think we didn't need a big action sequence. Like they said it was the Ghost Rider's last stand, but this literally he was standing for most of this episode, and we got a really nice kind of end to this character. It wasn't like he was fighting Eli left and right and there was Spike going around. That would have been cool. But I think it's great that they can tell that type of story as well without needing to have a big action sequence in order to tell it.
Yeah.
Yes, it was just like for me, like it. Yes, I think there is something to be said about having dialogue that can tell a story, and you don't necessarily need action. But I think that like the emotions that they were getting out, it would have been more. It didn't even need to be that they were in full battle, but like even if they were like pacing around each other, it just felt a little static to me. And like while what they were saying was great, and I loved what Eli came out with, and like what we were saying about like his reasons for like why he fell down this hole, I loved that. That was a great reveal to his story. It was too much just two guys standing opposite each other talking.
I feel like it's never static if there's a nuclear bomb in the room.
Well,
like that tension.
But they kind of made it static. Like the nuclear bomb didn't even really play a real part to me. When it kind of went off in the end, they just kind of stood there and just like, oh, we knew it was gonna.
What I'm saying is, if you got those stakes, it didn't feel static to me because it was like if Robbie moves, he might trigger a nuclear explosion.
And another
they
thing
didn't lean
about
into
it.
that, I think, as much as they needed to.
Megan's been trying to get this out for like a minute.
Yeah.
That's okay. Talking about like static. Yes, I think in the hands of an incompetent DP, this would have been boring because it's so easy in the hands of not capable people to make interesting dialogue not visually interesting. You know, you really have to get people who know what they're doing, who know how to shoot a scene. And for me, the thing that really made it for this scene where it's just two guys talking to each other, first of all, again, great performances, because if that's not there, you're not going to sell it to the audience. Second of all, the use of close-ups and the use of the lighting. The lighting flashing back in between blue and darkness and red, I really thought lended a lot to this particular scene because both of these characters are not necessarily, like, I love Robbie, don't get me wrong, but both of these characters are killers, and both of them have done really terrible things to achieve their own ends. You know, you understand Robbie's plight a lot more because, again, he never asked, for the writer. But if you want to make that argument too, Eli never asked to be corrupted by the Darkhold. It's just a thing that overtook him. And we saw it even overtook May for a while.
Has. We don't know what's going on with May.
LMD.
We'll get to May. Let's keep going on Robbie and Eli.
But for me, and again, it would have been nice to have a bombastic action sequence be, the finale for Robbie. But having a nice, poignant, emotional scene was a really good way to say goodbye as well. Especially if we're possibly going to get more Ghost Rider in the future in some iteration or another. The only thing I think where it needed kind of one more emotional, like, just beat is that now Eli and Robbie are gone and Gabe is on his own, and we didn't see him at all in this. It would have been nice just to kind of have a moment with him for him to be like, I'm gonna be okay. This
he like
sucks,
rolled
but
up
I'm gonna
into
be
the
okay.
nuclear bomb situation. I was like, "Hey guys,
I got this, guys.
Hey,
I got
guys.
this."
Well, let's not forget. This is the mid-season finale. Like, there's
That's true.
still the rest of the season to go. I think we'll see Gabe again before
Quick
the year's
handing
out.
off the Hell Charger probably would have been a good like emotional button for that story.
at the end,
Yeah.
towards the end or something."
Like, this is yours now. No, I'll just look after it until Robbie gets back. Like,
Yeah,
that sort of thing.
they did it quick. Like, I wonder if it was a time issue.
Probably.
That they just had to like simplify it and cut it.
That could be it.
They basically set up they set up so that they could do 2 Ghost Rider series, like going forward, because they dropped Robbie into the Hell dimension, so they could literally bring him out whenever they want. Like whatever dimension he's in, time could pass differently, so they could literally drop him out a moment later in 5 years. Like they could. I'm not saying they should, and I want that next year, like soon as possible. But then they also set up a Johnny Blaze story.
The other one came back.
Yes.
What?
Whoa.
Unless we're gonna say that the Nick Cage movies were canon.
They're not canon. They're not canon.
Dear God, I
Where are
hope
we
not.
going with that?
Because Marvel has said that if it wasn't,
Marvel's like they've discounted. They're like, we
if
didn't
it's
even
not
make
a
those.
Marvel movie, then it's
Yeah.
not canon.
Oh yeah. No. The Ghost Rider movies are not in the MCU canon.
It's just funny you said it like that.
It's not. It's not. goddamn
They're not.
canon.
They're just not good.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, Nicolas Cage.
They barely count as movies.
But like,
hilarious.
so we
They're
just
not canon in our universe.
Yeah, but like what that establishes, like in that one line, is that Coulson not only has interacted with the other one. Again, we have not officially confirmed that it's Johnny Blaze.
Could be anyone.
It could be other guy whose name escapes me at the moment. Yeah, I forget his name. Anyway, you were saying.
It's Johnny Blaze. But like that it could be Coulson and Johnny Blaze like hanging out in like what, the 80s? Like, do we do an 80s Ghost Rider series?
Wow, that could be a thing.
So like Coulson's like
I would
an
watch
entry level S.H.I.E.L.D. agent. Just started, and this is like his first big assignment to like a meta-human thing. Not meta-human.
You've
that's
made
DC,
Megan really
but-
excited by
but
this, by the way. When she holds her
Coulson's
cheeks.
got a white belt on. It's the 80s.
This is the Miami Vice of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah, it's Miami Vice.
But like that's sort of the beauty of like the fact that they set up that it happened in the past, and that it was like it seemed like it was a while ago enough, is that if you set it into like if you go as far back as the 80s to set up Johnny Blaze, like you could literally you have so much freedom to do whatever you want, because that's pre-Iron Man.
Yep.
Like as long as you keep the story like quiet from the public, there's like there's no limits to effect like on the greater MCU like you run into with S.H.I.E.L.D. now.
Is his name Danny Ketch?
Yes.
Yes, that is
Okay.
correct.
Danny
The other
Ketch,
one
Catch.
the
Did you
other-
catch or catch?
I don't
Catch.
know.
Catch.
Danny Ketch.
But yeah, even if like you could do that, and as much as I would love to see an 80s series, you could also just bring back Robbie and do what they did in the comics during Secret Wars, and just bring in all the Ghost Riders.
Yeah.
Sure.
And then they can race and have adventures, and it'll be fun.
The series that I most want to see is a combination of these things, because what I want to see them do is I want to see a Netflix, or it doesn't have to be Netflix, it could be on ABC if they keep it with the tone, like the darkness that they gave Robbie in this like half season.
It has to be on Netflix. Let's be real. If we want to see a very good Ghost Rider the way we want it done, it's gonna have to be on Netflix, because if Ghost Rider isn't like extra and just, you know, I need a little more violent.
He doesn't have to be the Punisher.
I don't
though.
know. Like in the first
I feel like
couple
this worked.
episodes, in the first couple episodes of this season, they got pretty gruesome with him.
ripped
Like
a
we
guy's
don't.
spine
But
out.
that's with the ABC budget. Like, if you're gonna do the budget, like they like a lot of that violence and gruesome was off camera, and it was just like
He still
blood
ripped a guy's
splatter.
spine out.
But you didn't see that. You just saw a blood splatter on
But
the
a
screen.
smart writing and directing
Yeah.
team can pull that off. Like with like
Would you
limiting
rather it be on Netflix or ABC? Personally, because I'm going with Netflix, because I want to see all those things. And I
You
want
wanna
to
see the gore.
Not just the gore. I want to see that interact. To me, that's what Ghost Rider is about. I want to see the darkness, and I don't want it to be tamed. I don't want the villains who, or the people Ghost Rider seeking vengeance on, not even being allowed to curse, Like, I really want to see their evil side and why Ghost Rider's going after them.
That's fair. Here's the thing. If it's on Netflix, we're not going to get it for
not have a
like
password?
4 years.
Do you want
No.
a password?
Well, Netflix's Marvel slate is chock full. They
It's
just
so-
announced Luke Cage season 2.
Yeah.
We got Iron Fist, The Punisher, Jessica Jones season 2, Defenders, and then like that's just in the next
their
2
dance
years.
card is pretty
To
full.
be fair, they've been known to push things like Daredevil
Thank
season
you.
2 pushed back Luke Cage and Iron Fist.
Yes, but like
So,
they've
like-
already got a bunch of these in production. So like
Yeah.
what I'm saying is, like, if Netflix did it, we wouldn't get Ghost Rider for at least 2 years. I think that ABC could do a good job on the show. So I would love to see them continue on, and I think ABC wants to do that. That's what I think this Ghost Rider bit is.
What if it was on FX? FX.
FX is
They're
owned by
doing-
Fox.
yeah,
Disney would
they're
never do
doing
it.
their
But
own
hold on,
news show
But,
that-
but basically, like I think that ABC wants to do. They see what Netflix is doing, and they see the success there. I think ABC wants to go further into that direction, and I think that what we would get is a Ghost Rider series that would show. We would catch back up with the what did they call him, the Samaritan. That's what they
Yes.
refer to as the other Ghost Rider.
Yeah,
And,
the
like
Good
I want to
Samaritan,
see
yeah.
a Johnny Blaze who is now without the spirit of vengeance, training Robbie to really utilize it and help him to corral the spirit. And then within that, we're also getting We're getting flashbacks and prequels to give us Johnny Blaze's story,
In the
which
80s.
is in the 80s or the 90s even. Like
Okay.
if we want to do a more
So-
like Johnny
cut to-
Danny Ketch era.
Cut to the French Quarter in New Orleans. There's a pentagram on the ground. Brother Voodoo is there with Damon Hellstrom. And then Robbie Reyes comes out from the pentagram. Then we got
I was in my head going, what part of the episode was
I
this?
want to hear the rest of this.
Finish this pitch, and then we have to go.
CSI Magic New Orleans with Robbie Reyes, Brother Voodoo, and Damon Hellstrom, son of Satan. All magic all the time. Brother Voodoo and his spectral brother over there. That's the show I want. Also,
Brother
80s Coulson.
Voodoo.
Okay, that's
then-
clearly not on ABC. Can I just throw that out?
Yeah,
And
sure.
then right before the holidays, they have the series crossover with Mac and Cheese, right?
Yeah, mac and cheese.
Mac and
is right there.
cheese.
All right,
Hilarious.
guys. I hate to do this, but we really do have to put a pin in this particular discussion because there's a lot more of the episode that we need to talk about.
Yes.
Is there anything else you guys want to say about Robbie Reyes' storyline being wrapped up before we move on?
Just that I've really enjoyed it this season.
Yeah.
Like even though like I may nitpick like this, I wanted a little more Ghost Rider just because it was so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was very compelling.
Yeah, I can't wait to go back and rewatch it.
I did want to talk about Robbie and Mac having that interaction.
Yeah.
Where like he's like, now you kind of know, and I felt like Mac, who's always like a tough ass all the time, felt like empathy for Robbie and what he's going through.
Yeah.
And I actually appreciated. You want to talk about the emotional interaction I appreciated? While I wanted no emotional interaction between Robbie and Uncle Eli, I did appreciate that emotional interaction because I could tell it's two guys. And it was just
Bonding
Yeah,
because
bonding.
because they finally kind of understand one another.
exactly.
Yeah, I think just I liked that when they were showing the reporting of what was going on, all the reporters were thinking it was an Inhuman threat, and I really like that this season brought magic to the forefront. I hope we keep it with LMD, even though it's going to be mostly about robots and artificial intelligence. I hope that we still keep AIDA with her Darkhold brain, still like whatever she's doing. Hopefully we get a Blackheart appearance with AIDA.
Well,
That would
didn't
be
Ada
great.
do the little string thing in this
Yeah,
one
she
too?
did.
Yeah,
Like
she
there's
did.
she's
Yeah.
doing
Yeah,
some magic
that
stuff.
was
Yeah.
to banish them to the dark dimension, the mirror dimension, hell, something like that.
Limbo.
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 Yeah, I'm a big fan of the Robbie Reyes comics, and so getting to see him in this show was a huge treat. And I couldn't have asked for a better way to include him. Like, yeah, a few more action sequences would have been great, but we got the Hell Charger. His transformation sequences always
So
look
cool.
top notch. everything about this was really spectacular. So I'm very pleased. I'm just sad he's gone. And so, yes, I'm excited for more. So, guys, before we move on, I want to talk to you guys really quickly about iTunes. Folks, thank you so much to everybody who has gone to iTunes to rate, subscribe, leave a comment. We absolutely adore hearing from you, and it is the best way to let our producers know that you like the show that we're putting on, and it helps keep us here in the studio. It keeps the lights on. It keeps our engineers on the ones and twos. It really does. And plus, it's personally just the highlight of my day whenever you guys get comment and we get to hear from you. So you will also get a shout out on the show.
Yes, you will. As I pull them up, because we love our fans, and our fans
indeed.
are great. Oh my God, we have exactly 616 reviews. That makes me happy. I know that's dumb, and 50% of the audience is going,
What's 616?
I don't
What's the
understand.
significance of that?
616, to clarify our nerdiness, all the every iteration of the Marvel universe has a number. The MCU is universe 199,999.
Yep.
But the base comic book universe is universe 616.
Oh, that's
Spider-Man
interesting. You
1.
did reaffirm your nerdiness. You
Yes.
are absolutely correct.
Spider-Man 1, X-Men 1, Fantastic Four 1, all of that 616.
Yeah, everything that takes place in the main Marvel Comics continuity
Yeah.
is 616. Going back, it's been the same universe since the beginning.
Which
This
is
is exciting.
insane.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's an insane
Yeah.
amount of
I would
storytelling.
never want to live in that world. That's just too much is happening.
The world where Peter Parker has to be a college student for forever.
Forever.
Well, and then when he's not,
Hilarious.
he then sells his soul to the devil and then becomes a college student again.
But yeah, thank you to Alt World Finder, Beatrice the Gold says, over the years we've been beaten down and blown apart, but now in this little sailboat we've risen from the depths to play with the big boys. Now, looking at you, Fitzsimmons, nothing can stop us from sailing to the endgame heaven now. And then they're like, screw you guys who jumped ship.
That guy is living an important life.
And Phil Coulson's left hand
He's back.
says, well, folks, Tindering isn't going that well.
Hilarious.
Turns out people don't want some hand without a body. I mean, not everybody, but they prefer the whole package. That's wrong. Plain old wrong. How can I convince people to see beyond my rocky exterior to where I'm beautiful inside? Your help would be much appreciated.
LMDs, man.
Yeah, LMD.
Anyone know how genius this guy is? His left hand is brilliant.
Who are you?
You know, honestly, if you get famous,
We legitimately don't know who Phil Coulson's left hand is, but we follow Phil
love this
Coulson's
person.
left hand
It would
on
be-
Twitter at PC left
It would
hand.
be amazing if it was someone here at
It's
the
the
studio.
stick.
it would be amazing if
Hilarious.
it was Phil Coulson, from
Yeah, it's
the
Clark
show.
Gregg.
Yeah,
He's just like, LOL, he's trolling us.
We only have 15 minutes left. That's it for the reviews.
Okay.
Write in more over the break, guys, and
Please do.
we'll shout them out as we
And
come back.
thank you to our international audience. We love hearing from you guys too. It definitely counts when you go to iTunes to rate and leave a comment. It definitely helps our analytics. But we can't see it, so please take a screen cap and tweet it at us. You guys are the best. Okay, guys, talking about emotional interactions. You know what got me real emotional? Seeing Yo-Yo and Mack back together tonight and finally get together. It took
Megan's
forever.
reactions when they kiss was so adorable.
And it was so funny. I spent a good portion of the episode because they spent most of the episode bickering, and every time they cut away from them, I think I threw my pen down.
Yeah, you were
and
real
just sulked.
frustrated.
But it was so great to see them get together. Did you guys think it would take this long? I certainly didn't, but I'm so happy.
I didn't care. I had zero. Yeah, it was it felt like it was kind of
Oh,
forced.
to be a male.
It felt like it was kind of forced on us in this episode. Like they're like, oh, we need to pay off this stuff that we set up, and we didn't really have time to do it. So it felt
So
like
here, now they're
Yeah,
kissing.
Yo-Yo went away
Yeah.
for so many episodes that I just wanted her. I wish we had seen her last week.
Yeah, I just wish that it was better set up, because again, it was out of nowhere. She was like, "Oh, so now you're not calling me Yo-Yo anymore?" And it was like, when was this happening before? There was a lot of stuff that was telling and not showing with them, which was
You guys have never been in love, because I
How dare
like
you.
them getting. I saw the hookup. I was like, yes, it was sweet. It was passionate.
I thought it was fine. I just wish it was
But
better
you felt it was
storytelling.
forced, and I felt like I didn't think it was. I thought finally, finally, In fact, I'm surprised clothes stayed on because after they built up this long.
We haven't seen them interact for like 6 episodes.
That's what I mean. Like,
Yeah.
it is
Sure,
finally, but it's finally in a way that was like, why didn't we get this episode 3?
Makes the heart grow
Yeah.
fonder, boys.
I just they like, and I don't know if it was for effects reasons or story reasons or whatever it was. Like, I just wish Yo-Yo had been around more.
Yeah,
I
before
feel,
this
course.
episode.
Same here,
I feel
yeah.
like a lot of things kind of got pushed to the background while we were dealing with the Ghost Rider stuff, which unfortunate, it's unfortunate because
Sure.
then it makes things like this seem, as you said, more forced or a little underdeveloped.
Yeah.
Whereas, while a character who has just come in out of nowhere is getting the majority of the attention for,
Like,
half a
look,
season.
like you can see it right in this episode, like with the way that they are pushing Coulson and May together. Like, we've seen it over just the last few episodes.
Yeah.
Like, we've seen that relationship like really like hit like a small point and then a small point and now a bigger point. With Yo-Yo and Mack. It was like at the beginning of the season we were seeing those small points and then they forgot that was happening.
Yeah.
And then they paid it off here, which is great, and I'm excited to see what they do going forward.
Same
Because
here.
I do like those two characters together.
Yeah,
I think
Yeah.
it
I'm
works.
happy it happens. Yeah.
I love the because I would have loved them to be closer to like when they were having all of the like religious conversations
Sure.
they were having,
Yeah.
because those were some really fascinating character tidbits.
Yeah.
But sometimes it doesn't work out that way, and they were also kind of busy saving the world, so I don't know.
Timing, guys.
Yo-Yo was real badass in this episode.
Yeah,
She
she
was
was.
so
She got
cool.
burned and
What?
was like,
Hold on.
I don't
Lit on
care.
fire.
Can we discuss why she got burned? I don't think, with her power, why did she get burned?
It was
Why wasn't she
it was
able to get out fast enough? Like, in the comic books, she like,
would have been able to outrun
Yeah,
it,
she
yeah.
would have
I
outran.
had the same
It's just a
thought,
regular
yeah.
fire. Like, it wasn't anything special. If they had made that a special fire or something, I would have said, "Oh, okay."
Well, so hold on. Like,
I think the way you would explain it is that she was surprised by it, and she didn't have enough time to run.
she
You-
should have
Well,
the
snapped
thing-
right
you
back to her
guys
initial
will
position.
appreciate this hashtag. Eric Olin on Twitter says, I have a hashtag to share with you regarding tonight's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. episode, Slow-Mo Yo-Yo.
Yes, she wasn't exactly
Yeah.
because she would have snapped right back to her original position. That is her power.
Yeah.
So the fact that she came I just wasn't feeling
because
that.
she's not a speedster like the Flash. Flash just runs fast.
Can we say Quicksilver? The weird Marvel.
Quicksilver.
Yeah.
It
Thank
was
you.
definitely
Well, I'm just
taking
using
a lot
who's
of
on
notes
television
from,
right now
Yeah,
as
Quicksilver.
a reference. But like to clarify, like Yo-Yo's power is that she can run at a lightning speed, but as soon as her heart beats again, she slingshots back
Right
to
back,
where she
yes.
was. That's why it's Yo-Yo.
Yes.
But I felt like they actually. Like, as much as it was really cool seeing what she did, I felt like she was running from A to B and then
Exactly.
stopping at B a bunch of times in this.
Yeah.
And that's a break of what we've set up as her power, not just in the comics, but on the show.
Exactly.
show, yeah.
And that's why I
So-
was surprised when she got burned, because I don't feel like the Yo-Yo that even they set up on the show would have got burned.
We've seen her be faster than a bullet.
This was manufactured completely to have the visual of seeing the fire, seeing the cesium on the wall and see it light up like almost instantaneously. It was 100% for that visual and for the shock of, oh no, Yo-Yo's on fire. That's not good.
It would have been cooler if they'd used ammonium nitrate and zinc, because then it would have been green fire.
Ooh.
That would have been more fun.
That
Yeah,
would've been-
I'm half Persian. I don't talk about stuff like this.
Oh, sorry.
Thank you.
but yeah,
fireworks.
here, as you said, she's so badass though. Like, she got lit on fire, and she's like, "I'm fine, guys.
Don't
no
tell
big.
me what to do.
Quit babying me." I lost my favorite jacket. That is the worst
She
thing
was
that happened to
pissed.
me today.
And then that scene where she's like basically doing Quicksilver from the movies, where she's like maneuvering everyone,
Yes.
takes the gun, puts it in Coulson's
Yes.
hand, like moves Max shotgun axe, like
It
setting
was cool,
everything
but
up.
I didn't like it.
I
It was
enjoyed it.
cool. It was cool to watch,
Yeah.
but I didn't like it because it didn't. We're talking about
It
canon
deviated
here.
from the,
Yeah.
Exactly,
the
and it
powers, yeah.
deviated. And the other thing is, her in this episode, like, I've always felt like she's like the Letty from Fast and Furious category.
Yeah.
But this one was like she was just like the person who wrote for Letty in Fast and Furious
Yeah.
wrote her lines in this one
Yeah.
because it was like exactly like word for word. Like I was expecting
was a
Vin
little-
Diesel to pop out.
It was a little
be great.
Michelle Rodriguez. It was a
Yeah.
little bit. Yeah, I could see that for sure. But yeah, that being said, I'm sure that for all of the bits where she was kind of pushed off to the side this season, I'm sure what we're going to get soon is going to hopefully more than make up for that.
Yeah, while we're talking about Yo-Yo, yeah, so like as we said, like next week on Tuesday they're going to drop I don't know how many episodes, but a mini series, like online web series, Slingshot, just Yo-Yo
On the ABC app?
Yeah, it's gonna be on ABC's, I guess, streaming app. I don't. People were saying it's not available on Xbox. I don't know if it's available on like PlayStation, but it's available on the web.
Yeah.
So on
Yeah.
your laptop, I think on your phone or mobile device of choice.
So we've got to talk to scheduling about this because this was a surprise to
We
us.
will most likely be back next Tuesday. I hope at the same time. Plan for the same time. We will tweet out if it's going to be different.
Sounds good. I'm real excited. It's going to be so much fun. Okay, you know what else is really fun? Seeing Daisy, we've had her back for several episodes now, but this is the first episode where she is really and truly a part of the team again.
They also gave her some new additions to her powers.
Yeah.
Which was really she started having like Richter from the mutants, his powers were she could feel and control
and
earthquakes
absorb the
it all,
seismic
yeah.
activity that was happening.
which was really cool. I really enjoyed that kind of device to keep her there with them.
I like everything about Quake. I love her.
Yeah, she's great.
I liked that she was still struggling with even coming back to S.H.I.E.L.D. by the end of it.
Yeah.
Especially the trust issues that got aired out between her and Mace. And I like that Mace at the end of this looks mostly like pretty much the good guy. Like, not that he's perfect, but that he is just there doing like everything that he has to do. He's the politician that we need, if not the one that we want.
But we also know he's still lying.
Are you going back to Batman?
No, I
on, you
intentionally
stay
did not
away from
use the
DC
exact
references.
quote.
But as you said,
we
yeah.
also know he's still lying. Because he said the reason why he's with Nadir was because of photos with Daisy, but that's not the reason. We know the reason is because Nadir has those photos of when his heroic moment, and apparently it wasn't as heroic as is led to believe.
Is it really a lie if you just don't tell the whole story?
Yes,
Yes, it is.
That's true. Yeah.
Absolutely.
It is a true, but
100%.
he is a politician.
Yeah,
and so
exactly.
and this
And,
episode
and
more
what
than
he
ever.
said wasn't untrue. That was
No.
definitely part of it.
part of it.
Can we just quickly mention such an amazingly ridiculous, nerdy line as Coulson, and it was also meaningful as well, but
Yeah.
Coulson was like, he wanted to make Daisy the director
Yeah, I know.
to be the Inhuman. And then Daisy's like, maybe in the comic book version.
That was so good.
Oh my
Did
god.
no one not like that?
It was so insane and I loved it. To clarify for anyone who doesn't know, Daisy was director of S.H.I.E.L.D. for a time in the comics.
Yes.
Well, and yeah, she is the head of the Secret Warriors in the comics as well. And I'm sitting here going, oh man, what could have been? I personally think that once Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. wraps up, Coulson will affect it, or whoever is in charge at the time. I imagine Mace is going to be out of the picture by then. I feel like Daisy is going to be handed the reins to S.H.I.E.L.D. and she will be the new director.
The chat is clarifying. Simmons is the one who knew about his background. Not Nadir?
No, I thought
Nadir definitely does because
Nadir presented those pictures to him.
Yeah,
When they were in the car.
Yeah,
in,
it wasn't just the
episode
Ghost Rider stuff and
2
Daisy
or
being
3.
there. It was also the fact that again, he's not as great as he pretends to be.
Yeah, that was Nadir who showed those pictures to him, I'm pretty sure.
Although it's interesting that Mace
Trying
doesn't
to
know
remember.
that the
We're not
person
encyclopedias.
It's
yeah.
the brother,
is Nadir's brother.
which I would have
Yeah.
thought he would have known.
Exactly. The fact that, he was, as far as we can tell, he was kept as much in the dark as Simmons was as to the identity of this young man.
I
So
wonder when we're going to get that payoff.
I'm sure soon. There's going to
Yeah.
definitely, during
January
this
10th and after.
this LMD stuff, we've still got the watchdogs in the background.
That's true.
Here.
So with only a few minutes left, can we talk about
The last
the
moments.
last moments of
Yes.
an LMD coming?
Yeah. So AIDA is programmed to feel pain, and all I'm thinking about is why was I programmed to feel pain? For anybody who gets that reference.
That's fantastic.
Nice.
And so
Well done.
yeah, she, at some point during this episode, or between the time she read the Darkhold and now, and maybe even a little bit before that, because she's learning and growing, but at some point she decided to take matters into her own hands. And she has created a life model decoy of Agent May, who has effectively taken May's place.
Yeah.
Do we know when that happened? Do we know how long the May that we're seeing has been a life model decoy?
Well, we know that at least today, May was sent to go get
To retrieve AIDA, yeah.
To retrieve AIDA. I have a feeling maybe the next part of the season, we'll see what happened. Like, we'll see the side story to this episode and see what happened with May and AIDA, and like in that part, like in the next episode. Or I was thinking, what if she like swapped her? This is a crazy theory, but like, what if she swapped May with the live model decoy when she was there to like exorcise the demons out of her? And
no, it would have been too early. That was pre-Darkhold. I think it was as soon as like May was sent to do that, like to get AIDA and bring her back. And AIDA says that line like, "I know how this feels," like with the neck snap. I'll bet you May snapped her neck.
Oh yeah.
And like that's like, and she like literally just repaired her neck after that.
Yeah.
She's like, ooh, that wasn't very nice.
I think the Darkhold plays a bigger part in this than
For sure.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
I'm talking about like, I think the switch happened before this because I feel like the Doctor might have something to do with it.
Like
I do.
He's read it. He's at least looked at the Darkhold.
When they have that like view of like when they don't show us, I thought it was going to be Radcliffe in there.
Interesting.
And then like the Radcliffe was going to be the LMD.
So rest in peace, Nathanson. We knew you well. I can't wait to see your LMD next season, the next part of the season.
But like basically like, so I think like when we saw her like crafting the brain that she was doing, that was probably her, however she was doing it, she was crafting May's brain, and like whatever magic she was using from the Darkhold was also to take all of the memories that May, because like that's the biggest key thing, like is the May
to
LMD
constructing
needs
someone's
the memories.
personality, absolutely. And she already, as far as like the specifics of designing a May LMD, I mean, they had all of her medical information from when they were taking care of her earlier in the season. It makes sense. And you really have to hand it to, I'm really looking forward to this. How many times has the actress who plays May played somebody else playing her?
At this point, they're doing it on purpose.
It's
gonna be May.
First it was Agent 33, and now for sure it's a robot. So this is great. First of all, again, amazing acting chops, and this is going to be a lot of fun. Heart-wrenching, I'm sure, but also a lot of fun. And eventually we're probably going to get to like Cylon territory of like, we don't know who's an LMD and who's not.
Well, I think are we going to do like a light version of Secret Invasion, basically?
Oh, that might be it. Yeah.
Like how long has AIDA been like putting people in? Like how many people are in? How many people can she stuff in that closet?
Dun dun dun.
How big is that
but
closet,
like the big question is, what is her end game?
Yeah.
Probably the same thing that happens whenever a computer program designed to protect humanity goes haywire. It determines that humanity is the best, is the biggest,
Threat
danger
to itself.
So all humans must be stored away to be kept safe from one another.
Yeah. That's why she has May on
Parents do
life
the
support.
same thing.
Yeah.
Parents do the same thing.
Although
just lock your
she did
kids up.
full on kill Nathanson. She did not like.
Yeah. Where was her compassion for him? She could have Vulcan neck pinched him.
Yeah.
No, I think she did it right.
She could have incapacitated him. She didn't have to murder him.
Okay, quick AIDA thing that happened that
Sure.
I would have loved to have brought up is the little quip about dreams of electric sheep. Did no one else?
Yeah.
Just was that meant to be a joke and thus requires no response? Yeah, that was right.
It was just brilliant.
Also, Mace being like, other than being attracted to her, this completely.
Exactly. Hilarious. Mildly attracted to her.
Well, what's interesting too is that Mace could have ordered her to be dismantled had he not seen, the value of bringing her on board. So, like, if he had decided, nah, we still need to take her apart, this is still too dangerous, you didn't have the authority to do this, even under S.H.I.E.L.D. supervision, you shouldn't have been doing this, we're going to take her apart.
The hubris of man.
Do you think that would have elicited a straight-up violent response from her?
I don't know.
I think it had to have.
I think she's too smart. I think she would have figured out a way to like subvert it, make another AIDA that doesn't have her personality in it, and like sacrifice that to get dismantled while she's like somewhere in the background.
You come up with the best random scenarios. If
I want these things to happen.
For sure. So, guys, we are definitely running short on time.
We're out of time.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. Do we have time for rapid fire predictions?
I think we've been predicting.
I've got one final prediction.
Immediate ones.
Okay, AIDA is the shield. She's there to protect. She needs a sword. So the giant brain she's creating is a mechanical organism only designed for killing MODOK, or designed only for killing MODOK. It's gonna be a giant brain, little arms, lots of lasers. That is my theory. Mechanical organism designed only for
come
killing.
up with these things?
With its little legs.
It's a brain.
Yeah, I get it.
Oh, for sure.
I think the doctor's in on it.
Okay.
Radcliffe.
I do.
You think
I think he
Radcliffe's
is,
in on it?
and I think I just think he is, and we don't see it, but I think that's what the.
All right.
Yeah, I think that I think they're surely infiltrating S.H.I.E.L.D. for a purpose. I actually don't think Radcliffe is involved, but I think he's going to be one of the. I wonder if it could be love for Radcliffe as her like father figure, sort of.
Maybe.
I do want to say the chat is 100% certain that Nadir does not. Have the pictures of Mace from Vienna.
I must misremember.
It was Gemma that figured that out.
Okay.
And then the senator just had the stuff about Quake. So she
I
is
misremember.
somewhat neutralized for now.
Yeah.
Guys, there's a lot of S.H.I.E.L.D. to talk
There's
about.
a lot, yeah. And we had a big break.
Yeah, so thank you for helping us out.
Sure.
We really appreciate you guys. We wouldn't be here without you. As far as my predictions go, I feel like Mace's lies are ultimately going to come back to bite him. You know, they wouldn't have Fitz and Simmons constantly hammering in how much he can't be trusted and how much of a liar he is if that wasn't going to come back in some way, shape, or form. And as he keeps saying, a team that doesn't trust, can't triumph.
Bye, Nathanson.
He's such a nerd.
I like Mace.
Me too.
I like him, but I don't trust him. Anyway, guys, that just about does it for tonight's episode. This has been so much fun. This entire half of the season has been just spectacular.
It is.
I'm
So
sad
good.
sad it's over, but looking forward to the
It's
rest
not
of
over. We're going to be back in a week.
Yeah.
it. Yay! Zach, in the meantime, Zach, where can people go if they want to find you?
You guys can find me on Twitter and Instagram at @ZachWilson, ThatZachWilson. Also, check out me and Jesse Klein's show on Popcorn Talk Sci-Fi Weekly. This week it's our holiday special, the Star Wars Christmas special.
We're going to watch it
What
and talk about
happened?
it. Yeah.
Oh, God, I'm sorry. Tehran.
I am Tehran. I don't even know what to say at this point.
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at JessKlein1. Also, tomorrow I will again be playing Pokemon Uranium in the Poke Your Mom show with my friend Maggie Mayfish. That'll be on Jash Play and Jash.Twitch. That'll be around 1 o'clock. You can see me playing a weird fan-made Pokemon game.
That's when I thought you couldn't get any nerdier.
Yeah. Oh, the nerd well goes deep.
And I'm Megan Salinas. You guys can tweet at me on Twitter at the Menguin. That's TheMenguin. I am also on a bunch of shows here at AfterBuzz, and I did stuff for the Popcorn Talk Network earlier today. I also write my articles for the Movie Chick. That's Chick with 2 Ks. Be sure to check those out. Again, thank you to everybody in the live chat, everybody in the hashtag. If you haven't already done so, go to iTunes, rate, comment, subscribe. We love you. Thank you guys so much for watching. We will see you all next time.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.